going to take the North and never give it back.
So that's a good pick. You get the corner. I got to go bold, right? I got to go bold for this.
Yeah, she's got some nice.
Welcome back to the Unbearable Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Brad. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're out there on YouTube, and also rate that show 5 stars everywhere that you get your podcast. What is going on, Bears fans? Now, unfortunately, we're coming at you with a Bears loss versus the Green Bay Packers. This is right after the game. So first watch, and as we always do on Sunday, we're going to break this down. We're going to talk a little bit about what we saw, and also out in the chat, let me know what you feel about this game, because ultimately our Bears lose 28-21 at Lambeau Field versus the Green Bay Packers and end up taking the L. So, how are we feeling out there? I kind of have the poll question out there. Like, how are we feeling right now? Are we feeling still good? Like, hey, still good, all is well? Just, are we feeling indifferent? Like, not mad? Are we frustrated? Are we ticked off? Like, what is the vibe of the fans right now? Because I can tell you right now, like, first off, I don't know about all y'all, but when I watch a Packer game, it is different. Because it is, it's like I get into watching the Bears games. I get into it like with my family and everything. We get excited about it. But like when it's a Packer game, I get frustrated. I get angry. I get legit. I'm like, I hate the Packers. Like I really, really hate the Packers. And I think that's the thing for me is like, it stings. But I will say this, right? I talked about it for the show and everything. The Packers had every motivation to try and just absolutely stop us. And the fact that it came down to the last play of the game and you were so close to scoring a touchdown, honestly, like I'm still frustrated. I'm still like, I'm not like, oh yeah, but it's the fact that we were able to hang in there, but it's like, we need the win, right? We need to win that game. But at the flip side, it's then, okay, they had all the motivation in the world to stop us, and they didn't. So there's at least that. But still, you take the L, and now we have to respond, right? We're 9-4. We're the 7th seed now in the playoffs because the NFC race is just insane. It's crazy. You're going to have to win some games now. Now you're making it difficult. You were in the driver's seat. Now you have to start winning because the NFC West just looks insane with the Seahawks. The Niners look great. The Rams are still they're the best team in the NFL right now. And yeah, the Seahawks also look phenomenal. So you're going to have to win some games. You're going to have to beat the Browns. You're going to have to beat the Packers when you play them in Chicago. So yeah, but it's frustrating. A lot of you guys are share the same sentiment, just frustrated out there at the least with the Bears. So we'll break down a lot of that. We'll break down some of the stats as well. But yeah, like I said, let me know how you're feeling. Drax saying he's nor mad or even upset, just a little sad. Yeah, totally agree with that. And yeah, it was a fun game. Like we were able to come back in the second half, right? That first half, it's like, oh boy, like what are we doing? And then second half, we at least made adjustments, something that we never saw with Matt Nagy, right? When we talk about the difference of Matt Nagy versus Ben Johnson, you saw the adjustments. Offense was able to score a lot more. But yeah, Joe, bear down. Taco Man, bear down to you. J2K, bear down indeed. And yeah, we'll get into a couple of the keys to the game that I broke down on this game. And like I was joking with some of my friends. I'm like, it's, if for anyone that watched the Magic School Bus and there's like DA, because my kids were watching Magic School Bus. And it's like, I feel like that whenever I talk about the stats and the analytics, but they're true. Like the advanced analytics where it's like, this is how you attack the team. Like we were saying, attack the Packers up the middle. Do not blitz the Packers. And what do you know? Every time we blitz the Packers, they got yards, right? And it's that whole DA stuff from Magic School Bus. Like according to my research, that's what is not going to work against them. And that's the thing. That's exactly what happened, is that exactly all the stuff that we were talking about. Running it up the middle worked. And blitzing them did not work at all. It was horrific when they were doing that. So there's a reason why the stats or the analytics are the analytics, because it validated that when we were watching this game. So yeah, and thank you, Matt. Yeah, in enemy territory. And that's the other thing too. I should have known this. So fun fact, and maybe I'll take the loss, right? I'll take the loss. I'll take the fault because my neighbor, my good friend, Kyle, he's a Packer fan. Every time I hang out with him on game day, the Bears have lost. And so his daughter was having a birthday party, so we were hanging out with them. And I was joking with him and his family. I'm like, they're all Packer fans. And I'm like, because of this, now they're going to lose. And what do you know? They lost. So, yeah, it's nothing on the Bears. It's just because I hung out with my friend. That's clearly the reason why the Bears ended up losing. So, yeah, I will not be hanging out with my friend on Sundays anymore now. So don't worry about that. Bears will go undefeated now. So, anywho, let's get into the actual game stuff and actually talk a little bit about this. And realistically, right? So when we're looking at this, Bears 21, Packers 28. And Bears, only 4 penalties, so that's pretty good. They had that little, when they said move, and then you saw Austin Booker go forward rather than go sideways, right? Rookie mistake. And yeah, he's not a rookie anymore, but that's a rookie mistake. You're supposed to, if you're going to do the move, go sideways, don't go forward. He goes forward, they move. So that's on him. The other piece too is the penalties. Packers 6 for 55 yards. But when you also just look at the overall yards, Bears with 315, Packers with 33. And then if we switch over from the offensive side of the ball, Caleb Williams with 186 passing yards, and also on the ground, 138 rushing yards for 4.3 yards a carry. DeAndre Swift with 4.8, Kyle Monangai with 4.1. Jordan Love, 234 passing yards. Josh Jacobs, 86 yards at a 4.3 yards a carry clip. So let's first, as we always do, talk about the injury impact. And I got to break down the injuries because it's big. Right before the game started, and we're talking about Kyler Gordon and like this scheme that you're going to have with all these different defensive backs. Kyler Gordon goes down and during pregame warmups. So now you're down your slot corner. And we saw that as a huge injury impact. Why? Because we've alluded to this. I haven't talked specifically about this, but something that has happened with this team, and also my analytics. Oh, no, never mind. Here we go. Now I got my data again. But when we're looking at CJ Gardner-Johnson, he let up 8 catches on 9 targets. Now, CJ's been really good in the run game and really good in pass rush situations. But when it comes down to coverage, he just hasn't been the best. And now it's not been horrific, but that was the matchup that they were trying to target. You could tell that they weren't going to try Nahshon, or they tried it a little bit deeper, but really all the passes were going to CJ. So 8 catches on 9 targets over there. So that was the biggest piece that we kind of saw with that injury, with Kyler Gordon going down. And also too, Jalen just does not seem 100%, which is just really unfortunate, because then without Tyreek Stevenson, now you got Nick McCloud. Now, Nick McCloud seemingly had a pretty good game. He filled in pretty well, made a couple pass breakups, but still a healthy Jalen Johnson is needed. A healthy Kyler Gordon is needed, and we just did not have those guys out there. But first game back, TJ Edwards got a initial grade from PFF of 90.2. Looked pretty darn good out there just on first watch. But then also too, DeMarco Jackson, 82.4 initial PFF grade. Upon further review, that's what we're going to be looking at. But still, PFF saying, hey, the linebackers at least played well. So want to just at least give them a shout out right there. But then next, let's talk a little bit about this offense for our beloved Chicago Bears. So if we're talking about the offense, we got to talk about Caleb Williams. I'm just curious, because most of you're saying you feel frustrated right now. But now I'm curious, just anytime it's Caleb Williams, I'm always just genuinely curious. How would you grade Caleb's performance? And I'll just do A, B, C, and I'll just do D. And if you think F, then let us know F in the chat. But when we look at Caleb, the advanced metrics, minus 2.8 completion percentage over expected, which to me, I felt like there was a lot more misses than I thought. And I think that just overall at the very beginning of the game, it felt like Ben did not have confidence in Caleb. And what I mean by that is you're talking about him going, 1 for 7? And then later on, he had only 3 or 4 completions. 2 of them were on bootleg rollouts, which is what you do for like Mitch Trubisky. And yeah, it's not like the worst thing in the world, but it's still like they were doing a lot of those little bootlegs. And then there was like the little kind of shovel pass that was to DJ Moore. And then the other play that was a screen pass. So at the first half, Caleb, not a good first half at all. And I felt there was a lot of misses too, just a couple little misfires here and there. Yet again, I still have to watch the performance. But yeah, then you saw him in the second half. And this is the thing with Caleb. And this is the thing that I want to just like stress. My whole take on Caleb is this. The first half, and it's the things of just like simply running an offense or simply running that system he needs to get better at. He needs to get better at that. Plain and simple. Making easy throws, operating inside the pocket, like just delivering those passes. He needs to do that. He has not done a great job at that this year. I've watched every game. He has not done a great job at that. But you saw today the reason why you can be excited about Caleb. The way he breaks sacks is different. The way he gets out of that is different. The way that he's making some of these insane passes is different. But you have to make those simple stuff. The simple stuff, that's the stuff. That's the piece. And that pass to Cole Kmet, that was short. And he was open. You got to pull the trigger on that. My guess is that Cole's the first read. That's my guess, right? Is that you throw it to Cole and he's already turning around, waits a little bit, stops, throws it short, right? And I know a lot of people out there too have like kind of called out DJ Moore like for that little short pass. Maybe should have hit him because DJ was short and then kind of cut up and didn't throw it to DJ, right? He was kind of looking at Cole. I thought that he was just late on that Cole throw and also late and short on that Cole throw because Cole had that space. But it's plays like that. It's plays like when he's running to the sideline and they have 1 yard to get a first down, and he could have even ran it on that fourth down play, but there was like a 2nd and 1. He had 1 yard to go. He's running to the sideline, and there's no one in front of him, and he throws the ball away. And you're like, come on, man, dude, just get the 1 yard and get the first down. But he didn't do that. And it's stuff like that, right? It's the simple stuff that he seemingly does not get, but then the difficult stuff. You see the flashes of just what he's capable of doing. And that's the exciting part. That's the stuff that you can just be really, really excited about. Because, hey, he brought us back with the way that he was throwing, with all those different plays. He was bringing us back. The dots, the dimes, the everything like that. And that's where it's still like, you know, and that's the thing that you can be like positive on, is that if the rest, the easy stuff, if you can start getting that more and more and more, he's going to be unstoppable. He's going to be crazy. He's going to be excellent, right? And so that's the thing that's I think a room for optimism if you're talking about it from a Bears fan perspective. But yeah, Next Gen Stats has him as this as one of his most accurate performances at minus 2.8 completion percentage over expected. And I think also a big reason, and actually I think about this, right? Because they're not just saying how many misses you have. I think the reason why they have that like kind of right in the middle is because he made some throws that other people can't make today. And that's the reason why you see it so even though that it feels like he missed a lot more. I think that's the big piece in big piece in all of this. JTK saying too, first half, we were in really bad down and distance situations. Correct. Like, we got the interception and then we had like a false start, like just, a 5-yard penalty, just a dumb penalty. And then we just get pushed back 5 yards. And it's like, all right, now we're out of Santos range and we just need some simple yards. And that's what I think really killed us in that first half. But most of y'all saying 50% saying C, 40% saying B, yeah, like, I think looking at the holistic, like how he played, yeah, I'd give it a C. Like, I think y'all have it right where it's like majority C, little bit of B. y'all got it right. I do agree that that's a good blend of it, because I don't want to go all the way out with the B. But it's like he's made some phenomenal plays. But I think that's just like when you watch him, he's got so many excellent plays that he makes, and then so many bad. Where to me, it's like I'd rather just have like a lot of bland, right? Just especially when you have Ben Johnson, just make the simple stuff. But end of the day, goes 19 to 35, 186 yards, and 1 sack. QBR of 40.8 and a quarterback rating of 76. Also receiving, Luther Burden, 6 targets, 4 catches, 67 yards. Cole Kmet, 2 catches, 42 yards. Colson Loveland, 4 catches, 29 yards. Devin Duvernay with the big catch for 24 yards. DeAndre Swift with 3 catches. OZ with 2 catches, 7 yards. And all the way down at the bottom, DJ Moore with 1 catch for -4 yards on only 3 targets. And the reason why I think that that's so big, and I think that we all probably feel this way about DJ Moore, just it feels like his time has come. And I know that he's the Walter Payton Player of the Year for the Bears, which is excellent stuff. But you just don't see a good connection with him and Caleb. It never feels that way. And it's week after week, DJ and him just do not click, just don't get right together. And that's where it just feels like, yeah, at the end of the year, what can you trade for him? Because he signed that big deal. So if you want to move him, a trade's really your only option. You're not, and also you don't just want to cut a player like DJ Moore, but it just doesn't seem like he's happy here, or like he's happy with Caleb at quarterback. It just doesn't seem like there's a good connection. And I said this when I watched the tape too. Colson Loveland is seemingly the target that he trusts the most, that he feels like he can go to Colston. Colston gets open. They put him in these situations because he can get open. And then Luther Burden, the man's a playmaker. The man's the dude. Like, he's just a great player. I love him. But yeah, like, and then to Taco Man's point, does Ben Johnson trust Caleb to run the offense? I think so, but I just think that he wishes he could run it better in that case of like, I know you know what you need to do, but it's a matter of doing it, right? Because you saw this too, where it's like they needed a bunch of yards and they have a chance to kind of get into like touchdown range in the first half, and then they just call a screen, or like they're not trying it. Where if you have faith, you just need to go 8 yards. Try a different pass, right? A screen is what you run when you have Justin Fields and you don't trust him to read a lot of that stuff. That's when you call that screen, in which they did. So, that's where, how dumbed down is his offense right now? Well, from watching it, it's a lot of like, they run a lot of sail concepts. So you have one guy on the outside going straight up, and then you have the other person kind of going deep and then kind of cut out. So they're running a lot of like, it's not a dumbed down concept with a lot of these pieces. But it is like, you can just throw it to your first read a lot of times, because when you have Luther Burden, you have DJ Moore, you have Colson Loveland, you have good players. And even like Cole Kmet, right? Cole Kmet is still a good tight end. He's still a solid tight end in the NFL. Like, don't forget about that. And that's where I just feel like, there's just a couple little pieces. But then the other piece too that I want to kind of talk about, there's 18 pressures. PFF currently charted the Bears with 7 unblocked pressures because they were like doing a lot of overloads to different sides. And I didn't really talk about this too much, but the Bears, from the advanced metrics perspective, it does highlight that, yes, you should blitz Caleb. You should try and get him pressured, because when he's pressured, it's like Madden. It really is like Madden. When you have a bad quarterback, you get a little bit of pressure in their face, ball goes crazy, ball goes out, or they escape and they don't know what to do. But then, you saw 7 unblocked pressures. They're charting Ozzie with 0 pressures given up, Tooney with 0 pressures given up, Dahlman with 1, Jonah with 2, Darnell with 1, and then Swift with 1. So, they're claiming that Caleb is at fault for about 6 of these pressures, is what the PFF initial first watch grades are kind of like saying with this. The other piece too, Bears passing percentile, 22nd But then you go over to the running game. Let's talk about this run game where for EPA per play, they were in the 97th percentile today. So even though that it was 4.8 yards from DeAndre Swift, 4.1 yards with Kyle Monangai, this running game was good and it was sound. And this is what we were talking about as a key. Don't try to bust things out outside. Try to get it up at the middle. And I got to say too, I kind of wish that they were trying to give it more to Swift. I thought that Swift was, Kyle was obviously running hard. We saw him pop a piece of a helmet off. He was running so hard. But man, DeAndre Swift too, he was running. And that was something that I didn't expect from DeAndre Swift. And I've said this before where it's in tough situations. Sometimes it's like, what type of Swift are we going to get? Are we going to get this hard runner? Are we going to get this person that is going to try to kick it between the tackles? And we saw that guy today. So kudos goes out to Swift for being that hard runner today. Monangai, always a hard runner, but hats off to Swift. I thought that Swift played very, very well today. I thought he played great. And then Monangai, I do have to say, even though I love him, in the passing game, not a great receiving option. Targeted twice. One just kind of went down immediately, and then the second one just not great, like kind of looked like a little drop. But yeah, it's just like overall running game, we know that we're going to dominate that. We know that we're going to be good with it. I just wish that we started a little bit earlier. It felt like in the second half, it's like, hey, we just keep running the ball. It's like, yes, that's what we should do. Keep running the ball. That was just a simple thing that they should have continued to do because, yet again, up the middle, we knew that that's where they were weakest. And when they were running it up the middle, they were able to get a little bit more success. And yeah, you're not going to gash them for 50, 20-yard plays and stuff like that. But when you're running it up the middle and you're getting 5 yards here, 3 yards here, then 5 yards next play, you're able to still move down and then tire them out towards the end of the game. That's why, too, I kind of wish that they just ran it again just to kind of do that. But they went for the kill shot and missed. Other pieces, too. Let me just see. Any other little pieces that I want to just call out on this offense? Yeah, I talked about the sliding and even when Caleb slid when he could have just got the first, it was like, just run a little bit farther and you'll get that. I think they eventually got the first, but still just a little thing too. Also, I really like the play that Ben Johnson called, like the little underhand pass. Thought that was a good, solid, interesting play. I think that there's going to be more people trying to copy that now as we see this. So, and let's see, Bearskin Matt saying, aside from 2 broken plays, that was coverage based, I think. Would you say that Caleb is more fun to watch? Yeah, I definitely think that Caleb's more fun. Like Caleb's fun to watch just because you don't know what he's going to do. And just like the high play, high risk, with a lot of the way that he plays. So I think that he's super fun. And then, yeah, Darnell Wright, I think the arm, Darnell Wright is, he's still playing injured with that arm, all casted up or, so he's had the running game is what Darnell has been very good at. But when it comes down to the passing game, I do feel like Darnell has not been as all pro. Like he's been an all pro run blocker in the past, not so much. But yet again, not bad, but still just he's just been a good pass blocker. But yeah, you're going against the Packers. Rashawn Gary's a good defensive end. And then you have obviously Micah Parsons. Yeah, but let's continue going on. So that's kind of the offense. Let's flip it over to this defense where I'm just genuinely curious about this one too. How would you grade this defense? I'm not going to say A just because I feel like no one's going to say A. So I'm just going to do B, C, D, or F. So when I look at this defense, right, this defense, just a couple little things. Packers, 93rd percentile in running. So they ran it very well against us. And the biggest thing is the after contact. We just did not bring them down. I need to see who was missing tackles. Obviously, there was that one play where we should have stopped them for just a field goal. This would be a different game. We stopped them for a field goal, and we didn't. And we didn't bring down Josh Jacobs. He ends up getting a whole 20 more yards after that when he should have been brought down behind the line of scrimmage. But when we look at this, before contact, he was being hit at 0.8 yards. So 0.8 yards before contact. That's awful. Like the Bears are getting to him. They're navigating to him and trying to get him. And then they were averaging 3.7 yards after contact. So when you look at the stats of what they did on offense, Josh Jacobs was making the Bears players miss. And maybe it's, Edwards getting used to his his new cast. Maybe it's the defensive line just not wrapping up and bringing him down. But first off, they weren't tackling Josh Jacobs. They did a bad job tackling, and then Jaden Reed on some of those little end arounds was able to get some yards as well. So there was that. But then also too, in the pass, they were 73rd percentile in EPA per play when it was down to the passing yards. So they were passing it very well, and they were also passing it pretty quick. I think that the average pass was 2.68 yards per pass completion. For Caleb, it was 3.68 for his time to throw. So I don't know if I believe that factors in with them scrambling too. But yet again, want to watch the tape, kind of break it down a little bit more to see, when he's holding onto the ball, is it his fault? Is it the receiver's fault? Because there was a couple plays they showed like the wide receiver's angle and no one was open. So definitely have to rewatch that. But if we're looking at this defense, like I said, CJ he just was getting picked apart all day. 10 tackles and a pass defensed, but everything else, it was completion after completion. And the big thing, this is something that I talked about. Do not blitz Jordan Love. Jordan Love is really good when it comes down to the blitz. When he knows the blitz is coming, he knows who to throw it to. And that person was Christian Watson. Christian Watson is faster than all the other corners that you have out there. He's a blazing fast guy. And if he's on any of your guys, CJ Gardner-Johnson's not a burner. Jalen Johnson, when healthy, is not a burner. So you have the speed advantage, and it just feels like as soon as they sent the blitz, he would lob it up. And they showed the stat, too, at like halftime or like going into the third quarter, that when they were blitzing, what was it, like 7 of 9 or like 9 of 11? Like he was able, and after this, I kind of want to see the percentage of Jordan Love when he was getting pressured. Jordan Love was phenomenal when he was getting blitzed. So, like I said, don't blitz him. When there's less people, he finds the person to throw to and he gets it. And he's cool as a cucumber when it's Toyota-thon. So that was one of my keys to not do. Bears end up doing that, and he made him pay. But even then, too, like, here's the thing. I thought Grady Jarrett had a pretty good game just from first glance. It seemed like he was consistently in the backfield. I thought Montez Sweat was doing a pretty good job also generating some pressure. Gervon Dexter, I'd like to see him back there more. Right now, PFF has him charted as a 5% pressure rate, which not great. But I thought that Grady Jarrett did well. I thought Montez Sweat had a good game, and that's where it's like, do you really need to send the blitz? Did you really need to do something like that? Could you have switched it up with the zone? Because I felt like you could have gotten something with those front four, and it felt like they were playing pretty well. So yeah, that's just something that I just didn't really love. And Taco Man saying they rushed 3 and got a 30+ yard TD. Which one was that? Now I'm blanking on that specific one. But yeah, it just felt like your defensive backs were getting toasted all day. So hopefully we can get Kyler back. Hopefully we can get Jalen back. And that's what I'm hoping that we end up getting. But man, I don't like talking about losses. Let's talk a little bit about special teams so we can kind of wrap up this show. Yeah, Devin Duvernay, solid return. Josh Blackwell, like I will always say, Josh Blackwell to me, I just feel like he's somebody that I don't like him returning. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. I don't love Josh Blackwell returning because like when it's actually in his hands, like I like the concept of Josh Blackwell returning, a defensive back that you can play out there that can also return kicks. I love the concept of it, but whenever he runs it back, he doesn't feel like a natural runner. He feels like someone that is not a natural runner when he gets the ball in his hands. And you saw it again. He fumbled it. He recovered it. And that's like his second fumble, I think, this year on kick returns. And even when he's returning it, it's not like he's dangerous in a good way. He's more dangerous in a bad way. I like him as a special teamer, just not as my returner is the thing, especially if you have Olamide Zaccheaus as your backup. He's a good returner. He's returned it before. So that's what I want to say about that. To Torrey Taylor, 2 inside the 20 and 1 for a touchback from a punting perspective. And Cairo was perfect today. So solid there indeed. And from returns, Cairo, I know that he was trying to go a little short. I love the concept. Obviously, the execution wasn't there, but I do love the concept of that. So train up, and when it's cold, though, and it's in Green Bay, and that's going to be a little more tricky. Maybe that's something you try indoors at a dome where there's no wind, it's warm, and you know how that ball is going to get kicked. So love the concept. Obviously, the execution, subpar. So now let's talk about most valuable Bear, and let's break this down. Ron, what's good? Saying Bears still suck. Yeah. And then Marcus saying, I don't like Duvernay as a returner either. He's just a very basic returner. Like my brothers and I, when we were watching, we're like, yeah, he's just another guy at that returner spot. So next year we'll get some more playmakers. Well, let's talk about this most valuable Bear. Who is your most valuable Bear of the game? And like I always do, I always like to just kind of look at what we had before and just kind of break it down. None on special teams. And then on defense, I don't really think you can really say anybody on defense. McLeod made a couple plays, Sweat at a sack, but then you didn't really see anything else. So that's my biggest feeling with just the most valuable Bears. And also, speaking of most valuable Bear, we got Shy Drax doing the $5 super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. He said, I challenge the room to support Brad, our favorite podcaster. I appreciate that, man. I really do. And thank you for the super chat. Thank you so much. I definitely really, really appreciate that. So thank you. But yeah, drop a like down there too. Subscribe, tell your friends, everything like that. So let's continue. We have Tooney, we have Dahlman as most valuable Bears. I love that. I absolutely love, the offensive line I felt did very, very well. So let's keep talking about this offense. Caleb, I thought he made some big plays, but I don't know. This is tough because it's like, yeah, you could go with Tooney. Like, Tooney played well, so I might give it to Tooney. But actually, I might give it to Burden. Like, because, dude, Luther's good. Like, he's played well. He made some good catches. He taunted a little bit. Swift and Monunga, I thought, had solid games, but I don't think that they were, like, phenomenal. Yeah, Kmet had a pretty good game. I agree with you, J2K. I thought that he played well. I just wish that they got him more involved because, like, Cole Kmet is a Bears fan. Every time he goes against them, he's just got the hate. He's got the hate that he's just built up. So if I'm going to give most valuable Bear out there, Ron with the late ad with the Bears water boy. Yeah, that water boy, man, he was putting a good work, and the water boy has got to keep that water warm and not frozen in the frozen tundra. So yeah, water boy for the MVP. You know, he's probably up there, warming it up with the heaters and everything like that. But I'm gonna give it to Burden. I'm going to say Luther MVB for me. And then I always like to kind of give a second one. I'm going to say Luther MVB, and I'm going to give Tooney the backup one. It always just seems like Tooney is someone you can just rely on. You can count on with everyone. And Jonah, these interdivision games, Jonah Jackson's been great. But when he was going against the Vikings, got stomped. It felt like he was getting a little stomped today with Micah Parsons going inside is a different beast than you normally fight against. So Luther Burden, my MVP, and then we're going to give Joe Tooney the backup MVP. Man, Bears end up dropping 9-4 though. That, like, we can sit back. We're 9-4. How many people thought that we were going to be 9-4? Right now, Vegas has us favored as 7-point favorites going against the Cleveland Browns. Shedeur Sanders throws for over 300 yards. So, man, part of me wants to also, maybe sprinkle a little cash on the opposite side, because I'm like, 7 points for the Bears to whoop up on them. I'm like, I don't know if we'll whoop up by 7. So also, Marcus, my man, thank you so much. I appreciate that so much. And with the $10 super chat, I appreciate that, my friend. thank you so much for the support, ladies and gentlemen. I definitely really appreciate that. So thank you. Yeah, just actually like peek behind the curtain, the podcast money, I probably make $20 a month. So the fact that like the podcast stuff on the side, like the actual audio stuff. So $15 in super chats. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate that beyond belief. So thank you all. That I really appreciate that. And also just thank you all for the support. Sincerely. So Bears, let's get some dubs. We will be live on Wednesday afternoon. So make sure at 7:30 Central Time, we will be breaking down the Bears versus the Browns with some great analytics, as you always know. So make sure to stay tuned. Hit that like button like Marcus and Drax have been telling you to do, and hit subscribe. And with that, Unbearable Sports Podcast, we are out.
Yeah, she's got some nice long hair and